Testing, testing. I hope you can hear me. I'm using my earbuds, so if you can't, I'm sorry. Testing, testing, testing. I hope you can hear me because I'm using my earbuds. Boom, 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 boom. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody, and welcome. Thanks for watching. Peace, ease, and whatever you please. Y'all know that's what I'm here about. So today I'm coming at y'all from my room in Utah, which has now become a library. But either way, I'm here and I have a, I won't say it's an exciting show, but I'm clocking in, okay? I'm clocking in, doing a live stream. We'll just see where it takes us. Um, and y'all see the title, Innards, because it's always been an inside job. You have seen the thumbnail. That is me in the thumbnail. I would not lie to y'all. I have no reason to post somebody else as a thumbnail and try to tell y'all it was me when it wasn't. That's me in the thumbnail, y'all. That is your girl in the thumbnail. Um, actually, I should pull it up so I can show you guys the picture while I'm talking about it. Right? Like, wouldn't that be cool if I could pull up the picture for y'all to see it here? The stat. Okay, here it is. Here it is. Um, let's see. Can I blow it up? I want to blow it up so we looking at. Well, no, actually, y'all can see that. Y'all can see it. It doesn't even matter. I'm gonna go ahead and. Yes, I'm very trustworthy UFO kamikaze, but I'm not here to try to defend that because if you don't know that about me already, then you probably won't, and that's okay. Because I'm not here to prove anything to y'all. I promise. I'm really not. But here goes the picture in its full capacity. Unfortunately, I that's me and my bestie when we were in our 20s, and that was me attempting to make like that was supposed to be like an 80s outfit that I'm wearing. Like the spandex is shiny, you can't really tell, but it's like that shiny black spandex fabric, and then that's honestly what I have on top. That pink thing is actually the lining of the dress I wore for my graduation. I just cut away like the fabric that actually made the dress and decided to wear the lining because it was bright pink. And I feel like that's like quintessential 80s, like that neon pink. So anyway, we were at an 80s party and that was what we decided to wear. Y'all see the Smirnoff Ice in my hand. Lots of calories in that. I wasn't really thinking about calories at that time. That really wasn't a concern. Hence my test. But yeah, so like when we're talking about things like innards, things being an inside job, um, I'm one of the best people you can talk to about that because I'm a living, breathing example of, hey, if you don't start to change things from within, you will never see them without, meaning on the outside. Um, because what we call into ourselves tends to showcase on the outside. So even like with UFO Kamikaze, shout out to you, putting the first comment, trustworthy up there. And I don't think that he was saying that he thinks I'm necessarily trustworthy. He was just putting that word out, which I appreciate. Goes back to what I'm saying here in the title, innards. I can only be trustworthy if my inside is trusting, and that would show on the outside. Um, so yeah, I never want y'all to forget that I was fat. People tell me all the time I have to stop leading with that because it's not who I am anymore. But I really don't want to kill her. I don't want to kill that Toya because she's a big reason why I am who I am today. And so I would be remiss not to honor her and to speak light of her because it was very important for me to be in that body, in that body. It was important for me to be in that body before I got into this body. And you see me, I'm smiling. It's still the same smile. It's still the same smile, just on a smaller face. It's just you can see, you can make out my features a little bit better now today. But yeah, it's always been an inside job. And the first clip I'm going to get into, I got to give a shout out to Freeman's Journal. I follow him over on Twitter, and posted, he reposted a link to a YouTube video that I'm going to share with you guys from the Word on the Net podcast. And they were discussing with a young lady named Zaina Bear her recent viral clip, but they also started talking about natural hair. And I thought that the conversation was interesting, but Freeman's Journal reposted it on Twitter just to kind of echo the sentiments of what many men say that they feel about Black women wearing their natural hair. And so, as a Black woman who, as you can see in this picture, many years ago was wearing her natural hair, and as you can see currently, even though I need a retwist, is still wearing her natural hair, I thought that would be a great starting point to just get some dialogue going on um, natural hair, what it means, how you guys see it, what the preferences are. Even just they'll get into a little bit of the pushback that many women offer with reference to deciding not to wear their natural hair. So again, I want to give a shout out to Freeman's Journal. And when I do play this, because I am using my earbuds, I want to make sure that you guys can hear the audio. So if you're in the chat, you don't have to participate in the chat, but if one of you could just put a one in the chat if you can hear the video when I do start playing it, just to let me know to not keep playing it if you can't hear it and to just remove my earbuds because that might be an issue. So let me stop sharing this picture of myself and go to this tab instead. Perfect. Um, what's up, Rogish? Rogish in the building. And I'm going to have Rogish join me in a little bit. Actually, he could join me now. So we can watch this clip, and then we'll get into a little bit of a discussion about it. And then later, I'm going to ask for the audience to join in and choose a number. I'm going to give you the option, the number between 1 and 34, and I'm going to answer the corresponding question. I have a Google document full of questions. Actually, let me share that screen to you guys real quick, just so you can see. I have a Google document full of questions, and I don't want y'all to read the questions right now. Just want y'all to see. It's 1 through 34. And so I'm going to have you guys choose a number between 1 and 34. I'm going to answer the question in depth and see what kind of conversation we can spark from that question. And so it's going to take your participation because I would like to choose questions at random. I don't want to just choose one based off of something I want to answer right now. I want to answer with reference to what number you guys choose. I'm going to take a few of them, but not right now. We're going to go ahead and get into this video first, and then we'll discuss it. I'm going to listen to about, I don't know, let's see. We'll listen to about almost 10 minutes of this. And let me change the playback speed a little faster so that we're not like bored to tears. Because sometimes people can talk slow. And I don't know about you, but it makes me want to tune out when I feel like they're taking too long to get to the point, or they are just not keeping me excited or into whatever it is that they're talking about. So again, this is from the Word on the Net podcast. Shout out to Dame Doja and DJ Decepticon. DJ Decepticon is the person on the left, and Dame Doja is the man on the right. So the woman in the middle is Zayna Bear, and they're going to just be talking to her a little bit about natural hair. As you can see, she's wearing her natural hair as well, and she'll get into how she's always worn it. And then a little bit later, I'll play her viral clip as well, just so you guys have just a little bit of um, connection to why she's even there and why they're talking to her. Because you might have already seen the viral clip. I had seen it before, but I had never heard of this podcast. So again, for the I think fourth time, shout out to Freedman's Journal for sharing this over on Twitter and giving me the alley oop of something to talk about this morning. Because like I said, I'm just punching the clock. All right. So let me play, and please let me know in the chat with a one if you can hear it.
Not necessarily saying that natural comes with a certain confidence, but and ladies, you can wear your hair the way you want. I like all the ways that you wear your hair, but I also can appreciate a woman that can style their natural hair in ways that I could not have imagined. And I think you display that in your videos and in a lot of your content. And I wanted to ask, like, have you always kind of been a natural, kind of like basically what empowered you to wear your natural hair?
I mean, I've technically always been natural, as in I've never had a relaxer, but
Never.
no. I used to straighten I used to flat iron my hair in high school, but at some point I did it too much to where I got a bunch of heat damage. So I cut it all off in like 10th grade and just restarted, and I've just been, I stopped straightening my hair since then.
But I don't know. I don't like. I'm sure that a lot of folks can relate, especially guys. I think that a lot of the guys may go for certain girls because of the lack of diversity when it comes to wearing their hair. And hear me out. Like Issa Rae, for instance, I'm just gonna put her out there. Um, until I start paying attention to women like her, women like yourself, the afro kind of just came with a certain just like boring. It was just like regular, right? And then it's like the mohawk afro, the puffs.
Frohawk.
Um, there was just basically different variations of doing it. You know what I'm saying, more than just kind of the coloring it. But oh my god, I was just gonna you basically like there's just a lot of different ways that you style.
That look like a
Yeah,
sweet
I
nigga.
mean, because I get bored of it pretty easily. So I mean, like that's why I just colored my hair because I got bored with my natural hair color.
But I mean, it's just not necessarily just coloring it. It's the way you part it. Um, it just shows that there's plenty of different ways that you can do it.
Yeah, I mean, 4C hair is very versatile.
And I don't think that people really celebrate that or know that or kind of show that or teach that.
I feel like everybody knows that at this point, but it's still a lot of work. So I don't blame people for wearing wigs and shit.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
okay, I get that
Okay.
because it is a lot. It takes a lot to kind of.
Yeah.
So it takes more than the wigs and the things that they're doing to make the natural hairstyle work in general.
I mean, it
You feel
depends
like.
on the person.
What
Like,
about money wise? Does it cost more to keep up your natural than it would be for some of the shit that they're doing out there?
it really depends on the person, what products they use. I always use cheap shit for everything, so it would be the same cost either way with me.
Okay.
But
I just want to pause it right there and say, as someone who's been natural since high school as well, like she was just explaining, I would say that natural hair costs less. Just hard stop right there. Natural hair costs less. Natural hair is not something that, to her point, yes, depending on what products you use, it certainly can cost a little bit more. Uh, Peace, Rayhan, good to see you. It can cost more, sure, but it that's when you start trying to do things to your natural hair that it wasn't meant to do. That's when it starts to cost a little bit more. But when you're talking about people who wear weaves and wigs and things like that, this is maintenance that you have to do to something that does not grow out of your head. This is upkeep and replacement that you have to do because this is not something that grows out of your head. And depending on the type of hair follicles you're purchasing, some of them are premium, so they can be thousands of dollars. And you'll hear her make the point that some people buy it once and then they just keep reusing it, which is a more economically sound function. However, it is not um, typically the case. So I just wanted to say that real quick because as someone who was a product junkie earlier on in her natural hair phase, I now make my own hairspray. And I'm not saying that everybody who's natural should or does do that. It's just that I found that most people who do wear their hair natural are not interested in wearing things that or putting things in their hair that counterbalance that naturality. I'm gonna use Rogish's word. Naturality. It's going the when you use products that are made to go against the grain of your natural hair or to change the balance of it, then I think you're doing yourself a disservice. And so for me, I started making my own hairspray because I was like, I want to get just this, and this in my hair. I want to keep feeding my hair that because my hair likes it and whatever. So my hair is pretty dry naturally. It's just dry. And what I like to do is I will use my hairspray on a daily basis, especially now because I'm locking it. I am, as you can see, like I have lots of new growth. I need a retwist, y'all. I need a retwist. Like the hair is hairing. I love my hair. I've never loved my hair so much before I started locking it. I'll be honest with you. I've got quite a good decent length on it. But yeah, I started making my own hair spray, which is literally just water, cloves, and rosemary that I boil so that the essences from the cloves and the rosemary get into that water. And because your natural hair loves water, I spray that on my hair every day to moisturize because what a lot of people don't realize that moisture is water. Water is moisture. Anything that's wet can, yes, provide moisture, but water is moisture. It's literally that is what you have it for. And so anything you put on top of that is to seal in the moisture that the water provides. It's literally the basis of moisturization. So you can't have moisture without water. So my thing is, if I'm going to add anything to that moisture or that moisturization, so to speak, it's going to be stuff that I know is good for my hair and that my hair likes. And so that's why I do the rosemary and the cloves because those are both known to be great additives to your hair. It's good for hair growth and scalp stimulation, which is something that I'm like, hey, that can't hurt. Your hair's gonna grow no matter what. But if I can spray something else on it that'll make it grow healthier, then why not? When I do retwist my hair, I use a cream that's specifically made for natural hair, and I think it works really well with my texture. And that again is just to seal in the moisture. I may use oil as well, but these are things that I found by trial and error. Shout out to Maggie Thompson under the veil. She's in the building. She says greetings, Toya, and chat. I want to get to Rogish's comment. He says, why is it that due to natural hair being not as easily manageable as hair of other cultures, that it is not seen as shirking one's own culture to use the convenience of another's identity? Well, I would push back on that statement and say that um, it is seen as shirking one's own culture. I think it was very deliberately seen as shirking your culture in place of another's because the system that in America, I will say, I can't speak for other countries because I've never actually grown up in and lived in another country. Though I've been in other countries, I can't speak for those. I can only speak for the United States of America and more specifically the East Coast. But I would say that because we were always underneath this idea of having to fall in line to fit a mold, and if our hair doesn't do what our white counterpart's hair does, then we have to find a way to make it mimic that. And so I don't think we necessarily took into consideration the fact that we were shirking our own culture as much as it was maybe the earliest form of cosplay, to be honest. Could have been the earliest form of cosplay. Because in a lot of ways, cosplay is in homage to whomever you are costuming yourself after. And while I would say that white supremacy was not an homage that Black people were making, it was more so a means to an end. And so hair for us is so political because of that reason. And yeah, it was convenient because if I can just blend in because that's one less thing that folks have to look at me about, then I'm going to do it. I can even join this in with what I was just showing you guys about myself. Having lost 150 pounds, I would say that the main reason why I don't lead with weight loss in most introductions to people is because I never wanted that to be a deciding factor in how people receive me. I never wanted that to be a thing. I always wanted people to take me at face value and for who I am and for what is in here and what is in here. Unfortunately, that's not how the world works. The world takes you in physically first. And so, in this same regard that we're talking about natural hair being of convenience or being of another's identity, I very much enjoy the freedom of now being in a thinner body, not having to worry about being taken out of consideration simply by being fat. That is probably the best thing about having lost weight, aside from the physical attributes. I'm not dismissing those. But in terms of the fact that people now look at me for who they may project me to be based on my physical composition versus completely discarding me upon notice because I'm fat gives me a little bit of a leg up. And I appreciate and I love that. I do. I really love the fact that now I'm getting the ear of people that I wouldn't have gotten in my 300-pound body. And so I think that natural hair, you know, being seen as shirking one's own culture is akin to that. You know, all right, if my hair's not nappy, this white person might listen to me. If my hair is straight, they might be more apt to hire me. If my hair is kempt in a way that falls in line with society's standards of what a woman should look like, then I get a little bit more of a chance. Doesn't mean that I'm gonna have success necessarily, but it does give me a leg up upon the person who's sitting next to me who weighs 400 pounds, who has a big wild afro, it depends on the person that you're talking to. And I think that's what she was going into here as well when they were talking about the cost of natural hair versus wigs and weaves and anything unnatural. So I'll get back to it.
But I don't know. Some people use more quality products or what have you. So it depends. Some people will say that wigs are cheaper because all they have to
Buy it once.
invest in is the wig that they buy once, the hot comb or flat iron that they already have, and then like some edge control. But with their natural hair, they find that they have to have the mousse and the oils and the gels and the butters and. But I mean, it really depends on how much you simplify your routine.
And my family, like a lot of the women in my family, they don't wear weave kind of coming up. They may have gotten braids every now and then, but they don't really wear lace fronts or anything like that. Not, and again, I don't. I try to be careful when speaking about this because like, I like the variety. I like to see
I don't like the lace fronts. I'm gonna be 1,000 with you. I ain't never liked them shits.
I like it when it looks cute.
a bad
Like
lace
if
front.
I knew
I
how
don't
to
like
slay a
none of them.
wig,
I don't like none of them.
if I knew how to slay,
I gotta be honest, I don't like them either. That's why y'all don't see me in them. I have in the past I have worn a wig because I was trying to figure out what to do with my hair, but it was not a lace front. It was a half wig. So even with me doing that, I couldn't even do it completely because I was like this much of my hair was out, and then the wig started here, and so I would blend my hair into the wig. It was a curly wig, so I was able to easily roller set my hair to match the texture of the wig. So it was kind of like a headband wig. They had a comb in the front that just I could attach to my roots and then just brush my hair over, and it looked like It didn't. I ain't gonna lie to you. It didn't look like my hair, but it looked more believable because I was able to blend my own hair in with it. So I liked the I liked the ease of use with that. And so to her point, if you can wear it and it looks good, fine. But I'll be honest, a lot of women I see walking around in wigs don't look so great in them. And they're going to talk about that in a second. But I just want to get to Maggie's comment. She says people can only meet you as deep as they've met themselves. That's a cheat code right there. Because once you realize this, you'll stop delving into people. And I'm a person who's obsessed with understanding. My mom always says that, and I say it too because I'm junior. But yeah, I definitely am obsessed with understanding to a fault. Because, like she says here, people can only meet you as deep as they've met themselves. So I can't have the expectation to get understanding or clarity from someone who hasn't even gone deep enough to meet themselves, who hasn't even gone to their innards to understand themselves. This is why I'm saying it's an inside job. All of it is an inside job. Me coming to you guys today, 150 pounds less than I was in the picture and the thumbnail, is because I was willing to do the work. I was willing to do the inside job work that it took to understand how I got there, how I can get myself away from there, but better yet, how I can keep myself away from there. And that's just one aspect of my life. Each aspect of your life, you're going to have to be willing to go inside to show outside. If you're not willing to delve deep inside to meet yourself where you are, and to start from there, then you're not going to be able to do anything to affect the way people receive and perceive you. These are all things that are connected. Rogish says, do you think that the women who can identify that they are being cosplayed are flattered by the preference of Black women who go outside of culture for beauty? I don't think they think about it. I really don't think they think about it. I don't think that they even uh, are concerned with the fact that um, people are thinking about, you know, that they're being cosplayed. I don't even think that's a consideration. And look, Maggie just backed it up. She says no. I think that's something that we think about. I think it's something that internally we discuss, and more specifically, Black men, because you guys probably look at us like we're crazy. And so naturally, you would be wondering, you know, how do you think you come across to the people who naturally look like what you're emulating? But that's also a conversation that I think we as women should have with one another, right? Like, I think it might be helpful to have that conversation with one another, not just in the, not just in support of wanting to have natural hair and saying that this is the best way, but just in the interest of having that inner dialogue, being able to meet yourself. So no, I don't even think they identify it as cosplay. I'm just using that nomenclature here because it's a way to connect people with understanding how it comes across. And the way that, like, listen, you are given this set of tools and variables that you're not even playing into. Instead, you're putting on something on top of that to conceal it, and you want people to take you seriously. Um, Maggie says, when you're invested in yourself as the standard, you don't even think about being imitated. Exactly. Exactly. And it's so revolutionary for Black women to invest in themselves as the standard. That's revolutionary in itself. That's political. It's revolutionary. Um, it can be damaging. But if you come from a long line of women who do not invest in themselves as a standard, but then raise you to see that, hey, this standard over here, this is what we go by in this house. In this family, we hold ourselves to this. You know, it's not helpful. It it sets you off on a trajectory that you'll never really benefit from because you were never meant to be there in the first place. And I think I've always had this notion of investing in myself as a standard, even when it was revolutionary, even when it seemed ludicrous, even in high school when I did my first big chop. And people were like, you know, what are you doing? Are you okay? Like people thought I was, because I broke up with my boyfriend that's what, and it's like, no, I just got tired of perms. Unlike the young lady on the screen who was talking to this podcast, um, I did have a relaxer. Probably from the time I was, I don't know, 6 or 7, all the way up until high school. I had a relaxer. And I got tired of the breakage. I got tired of my hair looking like it just wouldn't grow past a certain point. And it's because if you're putting chemicals in your hair on a consistent basis, you're literally telling your scalp, F you. You're literally telling your hair, I don't care about you. So why would it grow? If you're constantly putting a helmet on your head and not allowing your hair to connect with the sun, then what are you telling it? I mean, I don't think people are really thinking about it that deep, but I was. Roger says, Maggie, that is very interesting because I also see Black women being mimicked to the point to where there should be no doubting in their beauty standards whatsoever. Yet there's doubt and mucho of it. Well, yeah, they're going to talk more about this, so let's get back into the clip.
If I had to slay a wig, I would probably be wearing them a lot more often.
Because rest in peace, my homie Cello. We've made fun of lace fronts before, but I've
Because
seen
if it's
good
bad,
ones.
it can be very bad.
Yeah, I've seen because especially if you're tall. I'll just put it like that. When you're tall, you're a tall guy and you're out places and you kind of see it. It's kind of a turn off sometimes. But
It'd be a turn off every time for me. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
you're being honest.
I've seen a lot as a DJ. It's a lot. So I've seen all types of everything.
But even your signature, your most viral video, I'm going to go to it real quick. What I picked up on was the way you wore your hair. The spin move, of course. The split.
Yeah, no, a lot of people talked about the hair. I'm gonna end up doing a Frohawk tutorial after this one.
Oh, that's
right.
dope.
So
that's dope.
But
paywall.
I mean, you just put bobby pins in it.
Yeah,
like that.
It looks like magic from here. So paywall, niggas.
But it's like, again, it was like.
It's 7 p.m. Friday, it's 95 degrees. I ain't got no nigga, and no nigga ain't got me. Let's go. I'm about to show my ass. These niggas love freak. How the fuck is that your man? If he right here with me, the fuck? Turned up with my niggas. Turned up with my beat. It's 7 p.m. Friday, it's 95 degrees. I ain't got no nigga, and no nigga ain't got me. Let's go. I'm about to show my ass. These niggas love freak. How the fuck is that your man? If he right here with me.
Just wanted to show you what she went viral for. That was her clip that she went viral for, both on YouTube as well as Instagram. I saw it on Instagram first. So, yeah, when I saw it on Instagram, I was like, oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, so that I guess that's why they wanted to talk to her because she had gone viral with that clip and her natural hair is on display. What's up, Grinch? Good to see you. That's right, Innards. And like Maggie says, hairs are antennae. Your instincts and insight are affected by covering hair. Exactly. That is exactly the point. That's why I am a huge opponent of wearing wigs and the like because they don't they you I get it. Everybody wants to talk about protective styles and why people wear the things that they wear. Even with Rogish raising the question about it being cosplay and it being offensive to the race in which that we are emulating. All of these things are connected, which is why I named today's stream Innards. It's all an inside job. The If you're telling yourself on the inside that you're not good enough on the outside, then guess what? That's going to come across. That's what it's going to look like. That's where we are. So let me get back to the video.
Like,
Fro niggas.
yeah, she flipped it, right? It was like, damn, she flipped that shit, and I like that, and I was like, damn, I want more people to do that. I'm saying like, and you could just say that you bobby pinned it, but
Yeah,
you
but
could
I
have
mean,
Like,
stayed
like I
it.
said, it look like magic from this side. We don't
caring
know.
for natural hair, especially 4C hair, is a struggle. I'd
4C
be
hair. 4C hair. What is 4C? What do you mean 4C? The curls,
like,
the
it's
kinks.
it's the name of the curl pattern. So
Okay.
4C
Okay.
hair is like, this. I mean, you can't see the texture because I'm wearing a twist out right now,
Okay. Okay.
but
Okay.
it's like, then the motherland hair. That's 4C hair.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
not like when you wash your hair and you have those little silk spirals or anything. Like my hair is just kinky.
You educated me a little bit because I don't know nothing about that
Nah,
shit. I
that's
don't know
what
about the
Yeah.
different
we're
weaves
here
and
for,
shit.
right?
That's a wig.
They just ask me how. They just tell me how much the shit is.
Yeah,
I'd be like, this
that's
is
a
stupid.
wig. This is my real hair.
Okay.
But even wearing the wig, it's like you're still wearing a wig of blackness, if that makes any sense to anybody.
Yeah, I mean, I have one straight wig that I wear sometimes in these videos,
And it's hey,
but I feel like I look goofy in straight hair. I feel like big hair is just for me, but on other people,
you make it work. But I will say that again, lace fronts are cool sometimes because it gives a variety. It gives a little excitement. Maybe I might
hmm
have gotten bored with, you
yeah,
know,
but it's also super convenient.
with Keisha, so now she's giving me Kiki with the different hair, right? But
Yeah,
I've I've actually once asked a woman to at least see her natural hair 1 month out of the year.
um,
And they're about to talk about why that was a big ass. What's up, Andre? Shout out to Big Mate. Big Mate in the building. So yeah, they're getting ready to talk about how he asked a woman um to wear her hair 1 month out of the year, and she's gonna say like that's a big ask for someone who never wears their natural hair out. And I got sad listening to her say that, but I immediately knew she was right. Like there are some women who, in the same ways that they wear makeup, there are some women who are just uncomfortable with what they look like to the point where they would rather be dead than to get seen without these accoutrements, without these add-ons, without these accessories. I'm coming to y'all today, look, with no makeup on. My hair is not retwisted. Y'all see all that new growth. And why? Why might you ask that I'm coming to y'all like this? And by the way, I'm just dressed like I'm walking around the house. I got on shorts and like a half shirt. I'm sitting here with my knee up on the thing because I'm chilling. Like I'm in the house. This is what I do when I'm in the house. But when I leave the house, I put on proper clothes. I put on things that make me feel good so that I look good to me. That's why it's an inside job, right? But when I'm in the house, I want to be comfortable. But the thing is, if I feel like I got to put on a mask and a helmet, go outside, am I preparing for battle or am I preparing to go enjoy myself? Am I preparing to go connect and commune with people? These are the things that I don't think a lot of women ask themselves before they leave the house. I think they really do believe that the helmet and the mask is armor. And far be it from me to dissuade them because the world is a cruel place. I'm not going to sit here and downplay that. But again, in the same ways that I showed you guys how heavy I was and that was armor for me, eventually I had to shed that armor. And in the process of shedding that armor, come to the realization that this is an inside job. The better I feel on the inside, the more that will showcase on the outside. And that when I do leave this house, regardless of what I look like, that feeling is going to emanate. I had a friend tell me recently, I don't emit light, I am light. Okay? And so, how can I be that if I'm dimming it? How can I be that if I'm shielding it? It's just me, though. It's just me.
a month?
I mean, I was
That's a
like,
lot to ask for somebody that doesn't usually wear their natural hair. If you wanted
so
somebody with natural hair, you should have just gotten with one.
okay, 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 I can accept that. But I was like, I had to ask her like, would you ever consider just, wearing your natural hair for, a month? And she was just like, absolutely not. Damn.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
a
was
lot of
like,
work.
Mm-mm.
I be getting tired of my hair.
and I was like, damn. I'm
Like,
like,
especially when I go on vacation and
no,
stuff, and I
no.
got to look at all my homegirls with their beautiful vacation braids in, and I got to wake up and struggle every morning while they just get to wake up and turn their head to the side and walk out. Yeah, like
Okay.
convenience is a thing.
Oh, okay. All right, all right. I can.
And that's fair. I will say that that's fair. Um, that's another reason why I started locking my hair too, because it is a lot of work depending on the kind of hair texture you have with reference to, all right, I want to wear my hair in a certain way. Natural hair is very versatile. You can do just about anything with natural hair for sure. Yes, straightening it is probably on the more extreme end of the spectrum with reference to the fact that it takes a lot more to get it to that straight and to keep it in that state of straightness. But I would rather do that than to not be able to access my natural scalp. And a lot of times when you are getting these lace fronts and things, you cannot access your natural scalp because it's covered. You have to braid your own hair, put a cover on that, and then they weft in the weave or the track, or they attach the wig with glue around whatever that covering of your hair is. So even if you could like get to your scalp, it wouldn't be with your hand. It would have to be with a tool. And so for me, it feels hot. It feels restrictive. I don't like anything restrictive. Just a personality trait. Like I like to roam about the cabin freely, and I want my hair to do the same thing. So this is why yeah, I have it pulled up right now. But look, like I am not doing this for vanity. This is not about vanity. This is about the fact that our hair grows from our head the way it does for a reason, and I want to honor that in any way that I can every day of my life because it's living just like me. So when Maggie said that thing about let the sun get in you, yeah, those of us who are not melanated can't do it the way those of us can. Okay, that's not a dig, Maggie. That's just the truth. And yeah, Roger says it's a lot of self hate. Absolutely. It absolutely is. But when that self hate is baked in, when that self hate is familial, how do you beat that? How do you get over that when the very same people that you look up to and love and are related to don't even connect to it as self hate? What can you do? Andre says her natural hair looks fine though. It does. But as she said earlier, it's because she's invested the time into understanding it and to treating it well. And she'll talk a little bit more about that in later on in the podcast. I'm going to play another minute or so of it, but I implore you all to go ahead and check it out when you get the chance to, because it was a pretty good build. I'm going to place the link in the chat so that you guys can go and check it out. And I'm also going to leave it in the description so that if you want to see it later, you can. Let's get back into it.
I can accept that, but I also can accept the work that you put in. I'll just say it like that.
Yeah, I mean, I do feel a lot more confident when I'm having a good afro day versus like if I have in some box braids or something. Because it's just like, yeah, look what I got. Instead of just like, oh, just another girl with some fucking box braids in. I feel like everybody's natural hair is very unique, and I feel like I'm more unique looking when I wear mine. It's my signature.
Shit dope.
Yeah, I enjoy it, and again, I enjoy that you wear it with a confidence that other women can kind of bite, not saying bite, but they can kind of get inspired to be like,
No, I
yeah,
definitely appreciate it when I get messages, especially from parents, where it's just like, yeah, my daughter sees some of your videos, and like seeing your natural hair inspired her to love hers more.
there we go.
Because
Yes.
especially with these young people, like these wigs and stuff can ruin your edges for the rest of your life. You don't
Yeah.
like if you don't take care of your shit properly, or if you never learn how to take care of your natural hair, you're gonna be balding.
See, that was my thing. Is that I always seen it damage women's hair, so I never liked it for that reason. It's
It
like
damages their hair if they don't know what they're doing, or if they're not taking care of their hair underneath. If they know how to take care of their natural hair, then they can wear wigs however often they want to. But if they never learn how to take care of their natural hair, the wigs and shit are just gonna make the situation worse.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, that was pretty much all that I wanted to share from that conversation and to discuss. So thank you for humoring me for the first 45 minutes of this stream. Now I'm going to go ahead and uh, I sent you the link, Rogish, but I'm guessing that you are not able to click it right now. So if anybody else wants to join, I'm going to go ahead and put the link in the chat for the panel if you want to join me. Like I said, I do want to go ahead and to do like a question answering thing. So I'm going to ask if you guys can go ahead and put a number in the chat from 1 to 34, and I'm going to choose one of the questions to answer based off of that number. Earlier in this stream, I showed you guys I had a list of questions from 1 to 34, and I'm just going to use them as an opportunity to, talk about something, give you guys a little bit more insight into who I am and why I am. Now my hair looks crazy because I took it out of that hair tie. Um, I'm gonna put it back. I was just trying to make a point. But yeah, I do need to retwist my hair, and I'm gonna retwist it very soon, as I am celebrating my 1 year of being locked. It's been 1 year since I've been locked, and so yeah, we're gonna retwist it probably this week. I'm gonna retwist it probably this week just so that I can post some content about the journey from day 1 to day 365. So look out for that. It'll probably be in the form of a short. Roger says, all this shit helps me to see that if I ever have a daughter, I'm going to have to fight some sort of subconscious perspective of her attempting to turn herself white. Yeah, yeah, but you know what? It would not come better from anybody but a dad. You know, I wish I had my dad in my life when I was a young girl to talk to me about, what a man's preference would be and like why I should consider that and how to comport myself as a young lady to be viable to a man. That's not something that a mom can really teach you. Even if she herself is married and has secured um, a, a spouse that is healthy and is good for her child or children. Um, Here's Rogish to join me. Hey, Rogish, good to see you.
Good to see you too, good Lady Trust. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Just trying to punch the clock, like I said. And also, before we get into anything, I want to go back to this picture of me when I was heavier and just talk about it a little bit. And you tell me what you see. You tell me what you think when you see this picture. Me and Mo. That's the picture I have on the thumbnail. Aside from the fact that I look uncomfortable, I think I look uncomfortable. I look stuck.
You and Moni. Shout out to Moni. All right. So, what was your size in this picture, like pound wise?
That was my heaviest. I was at my heaviest there. I was just about 300 pounds, like just under.
Damn.
Yeah, I lost that big back, big back, big back, big back.
Damn. You know what? The thing is, I'll be wondering what goes on in the mind of folks that let themselves, get that large. Because if you ever put on a little bit of weight, like at what? Okay, so if you got the 300, that means you had a climb, right?
Yeah. It was
okay.
gradual.
So right. So it wasn't 300. It wasn't 300 to when the objective complications that come with obesity started
Mhm.
to, you know what I'm saying, connect with you. So
Okay.
at what route towards 300 would you say that it started occurring to you that,
Well,
okay, you know what?
I've talked about that before. It wasn't until I got to there was a picture I shared on YouTube a while ago that I'll have to find it because I don't even know if I still have it on this computer. But where I was wearing a muumuu and my hair was short and curly, and
Okay.
I was at my cousin's, like I think it was some kind of celebration that I was at, and it was that picture is so instrumental to me because it brings me right back to that moment of when I was uncomfortable. I felt physically uncomfortable in that picture. It wasn't until I got to that point that I started to realize, okay, I need to change something. Because I think I told you before, I had swelling in my ankles. It had never happened before. And, you know, things, I didn't even feel comfortable wearing clothing. I didn't want anything clinging to me. And so because of that feeling, that's what got me to the point where it's like, all right, I need to do something about this. But also it was like, certain health things started happening too that, I won't get into now, but it, it's why I even said on Dr. Thunder's channel a few weeks ago, maybe even a month ago now, that we should start having more conversations about our health and what symptoms that we deal with and that we make a normal part of our lives that really were never supposed to be. But if you don't have people around you pushing back on what you feel is normal behavior, you're never going to think there's anything wrong with it.
Nobody can be checked no more though. So you know what I'm saying? People don't
No.
self-check. So
Yeah.
um so
Shout
I
out
can
to
see why you
Urban
say
Reed.
that it was your armor. I can see that. Respect. Um, I can see that why you said it's your armor, kind of like with the chicks, I guess. And you know what I'm saying, chick logic. That hair can be seen as an armor. You know what I'm saying? Armor to society, armor to sun. You know what I mean? Is no matter how unnatural it is perhaps maybe if it puts a feeling on y'all that y'all are a little bit more accepted in the society or something like that. It's done what it's supposed to do, safety blanket or some shit like that. You feel me? Uh,
Shout out to Linus.
you feel me? So, all right, but then so the objectivity of it then definitely points to if not a self hate, then how about the lack of having a quality desire for self awareness? You can't say somebody hate themselves right off the bat. You know what I'm saying? Let's say that the pressures of the
Well, that's
society.
well, that's what it is. You can't say that, and that's why you get such a visceral reaction. Remember when we had this conversation on stereo, and the girls was trying to tell you it's a protective style, it's the way I try to express myself, and that's what you will hear women say because they lack the self awareness to even be able to connect with hate. How can you connect it as hate if you're not even aware of yourself? It's why what Maggie said earlier in the stream about where is it? When you're invested in yourself as the standard, you don't even think about being imitated. And she also said people can only meet you as deep as they've met themselves. So if I haven't met myself deep enough to be
Sure.
self-aware enough that what I'm showcasing on the outside is telling you more about me than anything that could come out of my mouth, if I don't even know that, then I can't even connect with it being self-hate because I'm not even connecting with myself enough to know, hey, I'm probably telling you something I don't want to be telling you. I'm sending a message that I don't even mean to send. When we send text messages, we mean that. We're typing it. We're looking at it. Most of us reread it before we hit send. Some of us don't. Some of us, oops. But for the most part, you're typing out exactly what it is that you want that person to receive.
Yeah.
And the same thing goes for how we present ourselves. If I'm going out of the house in dingy clothes and a bonnet, I'm telling the world There's a modicum of respect I expect you to have for me.
That part right there, but that lets you know that they don't really see themselves. Um, the fact that that's become a thing, bonnets and pajamas and a mother with children. You know what I'm saying? 3 children, the whole damn family in pajamas, y'all in the grocery store and shit. And it's like, all right, look. Um, okay, so what is that saying that if it all comes down to a self-awareness, what is that saying that is being lost with being passed down the line of and it's definitely different for chicks, right? But like, what are y'all not learning about being a woman
I just
from
I just
women?
told you. I just told you.
So
I
so
just
all
told you.
so
If you
so
don't have it,
all women come here instantly on some mimic what the system say to mimic shit, as opposed to even if it's detrimental.
if you were brought here, you did not ever have a chance, Rogish. If you were brought
Yeah,
here, just in the same way that as a black man, you can't walk about the cabin freely as a man, just to be black first.
right.
And that comes with its own implications. It's the same way as black women. No, you cannot embrace that which naturally comes of you because you've already been told for centuries and generations that that's not what we like here. That's not what's accepted here. If you want to be accepted, you need to look like this. And if you can't look like this, you need to look as close to like this as you can. And if your hair can't do this, well, then your this could do that. And all these, it's all
But
these.
at the same time, you're mimicked to levels to where it's a supplantation. It looks like it's being enacted. You know what I'm saying? You also mimic at those levels to where it's like, whoa, like, all right then. So how can it? That's my question, just in the practicality of
You're
of
never gonna get
understanding.
it
Well,
because you're
no,
not a
no,
woman.
yeah,
You're never gonna
but
get it. Like as much as I love to humor your question,
yeah,
no way that I answer it is ever gonna give you the resolve that you're looking for because you have never walked this planet as a woman. In the same
right,
way, I will never understand what it feels like to walk this earth as you. I can
right.
only attest to what I've seen it do to you.
So okay, so when black women see other women mimicking them, how does it make black women feel then? Because obviously they're mimicking some element of your beauty standard, or perhaps maybe some factor of you done became
I don't even
popular,
think
perhaps
that
maybe
they
fetishized.
I don't even think that they're mimicking an essence of black women's beauty standard as much as the caricature that they think black women are. And so for
Okay,
that reason, it's offensive because you have no access to who I am and what I present as. All you have access to are the things that you think make me that. And it tells me more about you than it does inform my decisions about myself.
okay,
And I think that's the difference because while mimicry of another culture to to black women is offensive, in reverse is it doesn't even translate. It doesn't even connect. To your question earlier that Maggie said no to, while I was answering it, other women are not concerned with the fact that there are women who are trying to emulate them because they know it is just an emulation. It can never be taken as real or fact. It is
right.
just that. It's cosplay. It's you look ridiculous. And I don't even let's say I'm not a black woman. Say I'm a Italian
Hold on a
woman
second.
and I see a woman walking down the street wearing hair in a traditionally Italian way. It's not even likely to show up on my radar. But even if it does, I know that put next to her, you're going to choose me because I'm authentic.
Right,
Her best emulation could never hold a candle to what I authentically emit.
right.
If
And
we're not being taught that from the get go, then we're always going to see something lacking in ourselves.
But you just said it. You just said the key word. It's taught. So we're talking about something that has to be a culture of value amongst your people first and foremost, not necessarily just within what your parents passed down to you, whatever. We're talking cultural voids. This being here, what I'm saying, due to cultural voids, right? Um, but I don't know, but it's but see, this is these are also the reason why refer to myself as an inadvertent black supremacist, because there's so much here that shows that when it measures us, we completely overdo his expectations with everything. I could never like the whole skin color thing. You're dark skinned, dark skinned. You get that shit all the time. And it's like, well, I don't see it as a bad thing, no matter what nobody say, because it seems like everybody is focused on being, somebody dark skinned and shit. So it's like, all right, that means it's people love it, they hate it. What is it? What the fuck do people love and hate at the same time? You know what I'm saying? Like
Oh, thank
what
you, better you. Thank you so much. That's sweet.
right, bro. So I
But
could
yeah,
never feel ashamed of being dark skinned and wanted to lighten up my skin or some shit like that. And you see my family, most of my family light skinned, big lips and shit, and pretty eyes. So it's like, all right, um, I never felt like I needed all of that or anything close to that, for any element of value to myself. One, because of how the society puts forth such an effort to remind you how dark you are.
yep.
You never forget how dark you are. It's like, all right, then wait a minute. It's okay.
But some of us like that, so.
Yeah, you feel me?
uh, Urban Reed types in the chat, emulation, effort to equal or excel in qualities or actions that one admires in another or other. Imitative rivalry, similar but different from simulation. Exactly. Exactly.
Imitative rivalry.
Thank
Nice,
you for
nice,
adding that.
nice.
Yeah, it is. That is what it is. And
Yes.
from the moment I decided to big chop my hair, that was my introduction towards, hey, I don't want to look like that. I want to look
Yeah.
like me. Like, I want to do whatever it is that I can do relatively easily and still feel good about myself. That was my first foray into that. It's why I continue to go back to that. It's why there's multiple times in my life that I've cut my hair off. Um, I was just talking about this the other day. I don't think I'll do it again because I've done it about 5 or 6 times now. I don't think I'll buzz it all off again, ever again. But I do believe in a good haircut. Just, you know, cut, cutting off some of that armor again because the armor doesn't protect you anymore. You always have to add to the tool belt. You have to check in with your tool belt and get rid of tools that no longer serve you or no longer do what you need them to do as well as they once did. As we grow and we learn and we obviously expand, we start to realize, hey, we were doing it wrong back then. I think we can see a different way of doing things now. And I think that's what you're seeing with reference to women embracing their natural hair as well. You're seeing that, hey, this trope, this mentality that we've been raised on, that magazines, media, fashion, etc., show us how we're supposed to look, isn't necessarily in alignment with my best self. Before, I may have lacked the articulation to say that, but in 2024, there's no excuse. There's literally no excuse, especially in these here United States of America. You've no reason to rely on what magazine, media, and fashion is telling you, or even your family is telling you about what your standard of beauty should be. You've no excuse not to push back on that if it doesn't feel aligned.
How could anybody ever want to look like something that they're not? That's one thing I never really understood.
I
Even
keep
as a young,
telling you, Logan. I keep
I
telling you.
get it, but this is where the mathematics of it don't add up, and things that people say that they believe in, perspectives of ways how people say that they see it, everything, it don't add up. It's like It's like if
Let me help you. Let me help you add it up. 1 plus 1 equals 2, right? So if one is your home life, and you look around at all the women in your life, they all have weaves, they all wear makeup every day, they all are, wearing red bottoms, and they, place an importance on their outward appearance looking this particular way. And then on the other hand, you've got media, meaning magazines, television, whatever you take in, social media, friends, also prioritizing that same image. Those two come together and form what you think you should look like. That's how the math. I'm not saying 1 and 1 are right, but they sure enough make 2. I don't care how you look at that. 1 and 1 makes 2. So if you are only influenced by those 2 things, that's what's going to form your reality.
okay, but then to call black men out on some crazy shit when we say, look, you trying to act like a white woman or some shit. It's like, look, from the objectivity of of and the subjectivity of our position of viewing this shit, you know what I'm saying, how far outside of the whole thing we are, it's like, look, we can see everything in the stark contrast that it presents itself. And it's like, to get forward, like, it's like, now I did, well, what would it be? Okay, in the stark contrast, white chicks walking around with motherfucking 4C afro wigs on their head. Really? Black women ain't finna get in the motherfucking tizzy?
Shout out to Rachel Dolezal, because in the same fashion I just explained to you that woman is looking at me crazy, I'm looking at her like, all right, that's what you want to do. You're not fooled by that. You're looking at her and you know that she's emulating me. You can look at her and see that this is a cosplay. Now, you as a black man,
and it ain't cosplay the other way around though.
But if you as a black man say, that's good for me, that's cool, I accept that, now that's a whole nother conversation. But if you as a black man say, you look crazy, then that will start to send a message like, okay, maybe I shouldn't be doing this, maybe I should, you know what I mean?
We've been saying that ever since the fucking 80s and shit. I remember saying what.
You're not listening. You're not listening. You're not. Because what I just said was not a question.
I've heard the conversation since before I was in my teenage years, and black men have always been letting black women know, look, that shit looks crazy. You
like
look
I said,
crazy.
You're not listening to me. I am talking about a white woman. You gave the example of a white woman with a 4C wig. I'm still talking about that. Let's not bring black women into the conversation. I'm merely saying to you that if you saw her walking down the street, a white woman with 4C wig hair, you would think she looks ridiculous. Right? But that's you. There are black men who would go. There are black men who would look at her and say, oh, snap, I got something now. I can bring her to the cookout. And that's where you're missing it. The fact that there's still a market for that. That's all it comes down to. If people by and large were saying, no, we reject that,
like murder.
No, then this would be a very different conversation. But unfortunately, that's not the conversation we're having. We're having a conversation based on what is prioritized, what is preferred, Irvin says, is it them dictating the image of your best self or the image of your best non-self? Exactly. Mm-hmm. If you are if you're in the out group, shout out to the nameless protagonist. There's an in group and there's an out group. If you're in the out group and you think that the image of them, their best self, is nothing more than a caricature of something you saw on Family Matters or Empire or The Wire or Power, then you're going to be really tone deaf. But you're also going to look very familiar to people who take that in, and that's their only connection to what it means to be a black woman.
Okay.
So the fact that being an image of your best self versus an image of your best non-self, that's relative. It's relative to your understanding. Shout out to Maggie for having the best comment of today's stream. I'm going to keep going back to it. You can only meet people where they've met themselves.
Yeah, that's bars.
Yeah, people can only meet you as deep as they've met themselves.
Mm.
That's it. Mic drop. So I want to move on from this topic because that's not the bulk of what I brought you up for. I wanted you to hit the link earlier, but I guess you weren't paying attention. So
You never sent it to my email. What are you talking about?
I texted you the link as I said I would. I texted you the link.
You know what? You did say that. I was looking at my email. My bad. My apologies. You are correct. You did say
Anyway, I beg your pardon. Like better
pardon,
you said. So, if anybody can choose a number between 1 and 34, that would be great. Just type it in the chat. Between 1 and 34. I'm gonna start with 3, just to get the conversation going. Because I have a list of questions. Okay, Irvin put 27. I'll come back to 3. So Irvin put 27, and I'm going to read it and highlight it. Uh-oh. See, I have no idea what they are because I literally just copied and pasted them and numbered them so that I wouldn't be aware of it beforehand. So number 27 is, what age did you get your first kiss?
It was kindergarten. And this little white girl. She was aggressive.
Oh, that's all you want to tell us? Okay. I ain't gonna make you go any further. That's all you want to tell us? Okay.
That was it.
You got
it. I think her name was Julius and shit like that. I forget.
Okay. All right. So that was the first question. So I was a little later. I was 11.
Bomberclad.
I was 11. I was, I'm a late bloomer, so that shouldn't shock you. People who don't know that probably partial. But, see, Irvin was 15. I was 11. So, yeah. Shout out to the late bloomers in the spot.
Yeah,
all right, so I'm going to go back to question 3, which is the one that I chose first. And I'm going to paste that one here. Oops, I just deleted it by mistake. Hold on. It's, what's a food item you refuse to eat? Let me delete this. What's a food item you refuse to eat?
Chitlins.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, I refuse to eat that too. I've never eaten it. I don't know how you could smell that and still want to eat them. If you've ever been in the house when they've been being prepared, my babysitter when I was younger, she used to make them, and I used to be like, "Can I go outside?"
Yeah, that's and look, the main people eating chitlins don't even want to talk about no slave shit. You know what I'm talking about, when the history come around and all that. And it's like, nah, man, fuck. I ain't no chitlins. I refuse to eat chitlins.
And the correct pronunciation is chitterlings.
Of course, but niggas speak English how we young to. You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah, chitterlings. All right, so
chitterlings.
Ain't that a
I remember the first time I saw a package of them. I was like, yo, I never knew there was an R in that word.
I'll let you know who ate them first. Anytime the hard R is present, we are.
I'm gonna push back on that. Because I think that we ate them first because they were the the discarded part. And as
Okay,
slaves,
well,
we
yeah, that
ate
part,
the discarded
that
part.
part.
We just tried to make them taste good. I think we did a pretty good job of making them taste good. You know what, Maggie? That's a good one too. Tripe, tripe. I remember seeing that in the supermarket and being like, what is that? And why would anybody want to eat that?
Mm.
It doesn't look it's like white and like porous and like it looks tough. It doesn't even look like you can chew it.
They
I,
put it
I
in pho. I don't think it's for eating. I think it's for seasoning.
no, people eat it.
Yeah, I
People
know
eat it.
people eat it. I know people
Oh,
eat
okay.
it, but I think it's better to be used for seasoning. I guess you know what I'm saying. They put it in what's that Vietnamese
Oh,
soup? Pho.
look
Put in
at
pho.
Urban. He says he would only eat his grandma's chitlins. Now that she's passed on free, I'm still looking at you with the side eye, Urban.
I get offended when people cook chitlins. I get offended. Because it's what it's connected to in the history and the fact that they don't even want to talk about the culture of it. The same thing with hush puppies. Like I eat hush puppies, but yeah, hush puppy. But the thing is, the culture connected to it. It's like this is the reason why we have that cultural void. You know what I'm saying, that we suffer from. We don't take nothing serious that was motherfucking connected to us simply because of the potential high traumatic charge that it possibly holds. Like we ain't got to get through that though. You know what I'm saying? Our fucking shadow work is going to be some of the darkest. Real talk, but you know what I'm saying? People don't want through that. People just rather act like nothing. I ain't gonna say act like nothing ain't happened, but that's usually that's how it resonates. Like I said, here here in Texas, talking to black people here in Texas, you
Uh-huh.
wouldn't get an idea that Texas even had slavery. You would just think that, oh, okay, the white people didn't like you here. Is that what it was? Like, nah, there's a reason for that. But from the black
And
people
it's
here,
thick.
you know
It's
what
thick.
I
But
mean?
you don't realize it until you come from a different place, a different ethos, and you immerse yourself into Texas. That that's what that is.
Yeah,
I can
yeah,
attest to that. Coming from
yeah.
the East Coast, I was not prepared. I was not prepared for that level of thick slavery still being in the air.
Yeah.
I mean, you can smell it. You don't know that's what you're smelling until
Yeah,
you
no
spend a little
idea.
bit more time. You really don't. You don't.
Yeah. And then you gotta acknowledge it. You got like, wait a minute, hold up, this is Confederate Southerners here. This isn't just the geographical Southern. There's a culture.
Hmm.
There's a culture taste to the Southerners here. All right, then. Damn, like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I have all but stopped eating anything pork related, to be honest. And Texas did that for me. I was still eating bacon before I left Jersey, and I left Texas. Ain't nothing pork on my fork anymore. Oof.
Believe that. So, and yeah, chillings.
So
Can't eat
you
no
pick
shit.
a number now. Pick a number, Rogish.
Mine was 11.
All right. Oh, this will be a good one. Ooh, this is gonna be a good one. Hold up. I'm not even gonna read it first. I'm gonna just copy it and paste it as a banner. Have you ever cheated and got caught? Explain.
Nah, I don't cheat.
Let me.
I,
You
I
never.
bring my fantasy into my relationship. So you know what I'm saying? I don't cheat with a
That's fair.
motherfucking thing.
That's fair. That's fair.
My woman either becomes
That's
my fantasy or she's introduced to her. That's how it works.
the comments that Rogish are making do not apply to me, even though we once dated. I just want to put that out there. Just because folks will get colorful and they will start to think things. And although he and I are no longer together, it really did not have anything to do with that either. I just want to put that out there. I want to put that out there. But it's a great answer. It's a fantastic answer. Um,
Yes.
I have, and I wouldn't say I necessarily got caught as much as I would say I told on myself. And you know about this, but
Yes.
yeah, um, I have, and I came clean about it because I didn't feel great about it, but also because I was under the impression that if I told him that it might bring us closer. So whoops.
Hey,
Oh, I just said y'all actually dated. That's old news.
look, that's how you know Dream been listening to shit in the space. You
Because
showing
we
up as a
talked about it
spectator, Dre.
openly.
They not like us. They not like us. All right. But no, I didn't need no fantasy with you though. In that regard, you know, nah. There's no need to try to turn you into one, nor to introduce you to her, to another one. You know, you just want a
I'm
motherfucker
quite
to
a handful.
you just want a motherfucker to be a one woman man, and that ain't what my
That's true.
blood. That
That's true.
ain't.
And that is where we decided to part ways. Oh, is this the juncture? Here's the juncture. And we're still friends because it wasn't no love lost, you know.
Not at all.
It
Not at
wasn't.
all. Most of love.
You know,
Most of love.
it's, it's just literally like, okay, this is something you want. This is not something I want. But you still
Yes.
cool though. Yeah.
Chip off the iceberg.
Mrs. KP Bailey said, "Wait, what?" I guess that went over a couple people's heads. Some people knew. I mean, we weren't concealing it. I think a lot of our
No,
dating was captured on YouTube. To be honest,
it really was.
a lot of it was on YouTube, and
You know
unfortunately,
what?
it was on the channel I had that got deleted. So that might be why. But
There
yeah,
wasn't enough salaciousness to it, so that's why people weren't
no,
aware.
no, we definitely didn't come up here and mudslinging one another once we broke up either. So I mean,
No.
even with that, we were honest about us not being together anymore and having conversations beyond that. Because
Yes.
we're both, you know, like I think if you're both adults and you can be self-aware enough to talk about, hey, this is what I brought into it, and this is what I didn't bring into it, and this is what I couldn't bring into it, you start to
Yes.
realize, well, it's not a forever match. It's
I
all
mean, if
good.
you was down with sister wifing, you know. It's not a dating preference. Those of y'all think it's a dating preference. None of y'all think everything got to do with dating and courting and all this shit. Y'all not locked on familial development, but it's all good though.
And also, you know, we've talked behind the scenes about sister wifing. I just have a few stipulations that come with that. That's all.
I can dig
We
it.
talked about that. All right, so somebody else put a number in the chat so we can answer another question, and then I'll wrap this up. We'll tie this up and pretty boom. We'll get on out of here. I'll repost the link if
This
anybody
is
wants
fun.
to come up aside from Logish. Because it's
You
not
said
just the
one.
player party.
You said one.
1
One to
through
34.
34. 1 through 34. We've already done 11. We've already done 3. Maggie just gave us 14.
17.
So this is a fun one.
14.
This is
All
going
right.
to be a fun one. 14. Hold on. Let me go ahead and post it. 14. What do you think the song of the year will be? Now, Robish can't answer that because he doesn't listen to popular music.
Yeah, they not like us. They not like us. They not like us. Fuck out of here.
Okay, that's fair. I like that. That's fair. I like that as the song of the year. However, I don't think it will be. I think the song that's blowing up right now that everybody's listening to and that everybody's like this close to being tired of, that's probably going to be the song of the year, and that's "Million Dollar Baby" by Tommy Richmond.
Oh, that bullshit.
Yeah,
That
I think that's
bullshit
going
is
to
on
be the song of the
everywhere.
year. That's
That
why I
shit is
said it. That's why I
everywhere.
think it's going to be the song of the year because it's everywhere. Everybody's listening to it, no matter your skin color, no matter your, your preference.
Gucci.
It's yeah. That's what I think is going to be the song of the year, unfortunately.
Goofy shit.
Oh, she said it'll probably be BBL Jersey. I don't know. I think both of them are great, but I do. Have you heard the cumbia version of BBL Jersey? Oh, now that they went off on. Anyway, yeah. Kendrick Lamar is responsible for the biggest cultural reset that we've had probably since the '90s. To be honest with you, like
Bars.
when we look back on this time period, I'm sure we're going to be talking about how much was set off as a result of it. So just saying thank you to him doesn't seem like enough.
Nah. Like you said, cultural
Yeah,
reset.
BBL
Very well
Jersey
put.
is everywhere. That's true. All right.
Very well
Andre says lucky number 13. Okay, so let's do.
put.
Why am I not being able to pick up the number when I'm copying and pasting this? I really don't like Google Docs sometimes because I'm having to type in the number every time. See, you know the song. So number
I
13
know
is.
the fucking snippet because when you scroll, everybody's using that bullshit for
I
everything.
like it. I like it.
That's
I
whack.
like it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put up a short later with that as background, just for this. Okay, so Andre's question is, what is the dumbest thing you've ever done because someone dared you to? I got a good answer for this one.
Got my fucking tongue pierced. That was stupid.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a
Yeah.
good one.
My homie and his girl was
Yeah,
finna go get
'cause you
one and
can't
shit.
take.
And
I mean, you can let it close, but yeah.
I mean, but the thing is that, I was gonna go with him and shit. Like, you gonna get one too? I'm like, nah, well, we're going someplace where it's only $15, whatever. I'm like, man, I don't want that shit, whatever.
Mhm.
And so they're like, all right, we'll pay for it. And my dumb ass, like, all right, fuck it. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying? Why
please.
not? Got my fucking tongue pierced. It was stupid. Oh,
Well,
I mean,
before I met you, because that would have been a deal breaker for me. I ain't
yeah,
gonna hold you.
I was in my 20s, and let's just say that chicks abused it. They would abuse, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, bitch, you ain't supposed to work like that now. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah,
You know what?
you
I'm gonna
when
leave
you
that
young,
there. I
dumb,
was
full of
gonna add
cum,
a
trying to
comment,
get you some, you know.
but I'm just gonna leave it there. I'm gonna leave that there.
What about you?
All right. So for me, the dumbest thing I've ever done because someone dared me to is punch someone in the face.
Just punch somebody in the face?
Mhm.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah,
Who?
I was dared to. This was a woman, a girl. This was in high school. It might have been in middle school, but either way, I was dared because she was she was picking on me, and I was like, "Look, if you don't stop, I'm gonna punch you in your face." And
I
she's like, "I dare you." She's like, "I dare you." That was probably the dumbest thing I could have done because she was bigger than me, and I was not prepared for the aftermath of me punching her in the face. I
Well,
was not.
no. You did no. Wait. You did the right thing. What you talking about? You did the right
But
thing.
I'm not a fighter. I'm not a
It don't
fighter. I
matter.
shouldn't have.
You a
I should not
fighter.
have
You
done that.
always call the motherfucker bluff like that when you at that
I
age and
did.
everything. Cause you know what I'm
I
saying.
did.
You
I was like,
motherfuckers
"What?"
get put in pockets. There you go, right there. Shit. Nah, you did the right thing. Motherfuckers want to test you. All right, bitch. Did I get an A
Yeah.
or a B or a C? What the fuck? What my grade is? You know what I'm saying? I'm your huckleberry. Fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People should be able to, nah, nobody fucking test your character, test your metal. Now, we're grown and everything, of course, you utilize tact now. But at that age, no, you did exactly what
Yeah.
the fuck you supposed to do. Knock her in her fucking teeth.
It still was pretty dumb though, because it could have went really bad for me, but it
I
didn't. I'm
couldn't.
still here. You can't tell that she punched me back really hard, you know.
I
But
bet you
either
she
way,
respects you to this day.
I never had a problem after that. All right. So the next number that we had was he said Toya Tyson. Irvin Reed says 20. So here's question 20. Who do you admire most in your life?
That's interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah, that's one that I think you should give a little thought to. Off the top of my head, I mean, I have two answers, and I'll give you both just because I want to give both of them out because one of them is still alive and one of them isn't. So the first answer would be my great granny. I admire her most because she lived in a time period that wasn't easy for women specifically, but black women also. And she was able to accomplish things that I could never think to accomplish today. And she did them under such stringent rules and politics. My great granny had a family. She buried two of her children before she was in her 60s.
Damn.
Um, she maintained a household well after her husband passed away. She helped raise me and impart some of the goodness that you guys are benefiting from today. So she's one of the people I admire most in my life, though she is no longer with us. The second answer goes to my mom because, and I know that's like probably the phone in answer for most people, but when I look at the fact that I could just say those things that I said about my great granny, I could comparatively say that my mom was up against some of the same obstacles, but because she had me at 14, life was just no crystal stair. And so I
Mm,
admire the fact that my mother has consistently shown um, her ability to overcome whatever obstacles were thrown in her way, whether they be self imposed or not. I admire the fact that she never gave up and she showed me what tenacity gets you. So those are the two people I admire most in my life.
um, I don't think outside of like Bruce Lee when I was younger, eh, like to the point where I would like try to study the philosophy that what I'm saying motivated or something like that. I never really admired anyone. Um, Not really. To admire is to what really? Like,
Okay, let's look it up.
yeah, because I don't think I've ever really like admired, and it wasn't. And when I say Bruce Lee, it wasn't because of just the martial arts aspect to him. You could
Thank
tell
you for
that there
sharing.
was some. Okay. Yeah, you could tell that there was something that was behind the strikes. It's like, wait a minute, there's something to the expression that's on a whole nother level. And then you hear what his breakdown of combat is and how one expresses themselves within combat. It's like, yo, it's yeah, nobody could talk to about, what I'm saying, combat expression back in the day.
Okay.
Like, yeah. But that's about it. Outside of it was one not too much admiring because everything else seemed like a resonance that that just made sense, you know. Never
Okay.
never really looking up to any one person to a degree to where it's like wow, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
I have
yeah.
lots of people that I admire, but mostly would be my great granny and my mom because they have such an indelible stamp on my life. I'm grateful to have those examples. But I mean, there are plenty of other people in my life that I admire as well. But just to answer that question, I had to put those two at the top. Maggie says, "This is fun, Toya. You should make this a regular thing. It helps us to get to know folks, and I admire authenticity." Well, that was actually the impetus. I was, racking my brain after the conversation you and I had, Maggie, about where I was going to take the channel next. And I thought this would be something that I could commit to on a regular basis that takes a little bit of the pressure off of me to come up with something evergreen. And so, yeah, there's 34 questions now. I'll go ahead and cross off the ones we've already answered so that the next time I do a live, you guys can pick from those. But yeah, I do intend to make this a regular thing and to just give you guys an opportunity to get to know me other than the BS that you've seen so far. Some people, some people learned today that Rogish and I were in a relationship. Great. Um, there's probably some people who didn't know that and still don't, and maybe they'll learn that on further streams. Who knows? But yeah, I would like to implore the audience's participation in this as well. So that's why I said, pick a number. Even if you don't want to click the link and join me, you can still participate from the chat, and I can talk towards whatever it is that you're choosing. So look out for that on the next live stream. We're done with the questions for today. I think we did a pretty good job of answering them. And obviously, you guys in the chat are always welcome to go ahead and answer them as well. I don't want anybody to think that they can't participate. I look forward to everybody's participation. And I'm so glad that you all came through and hit that like button for me.
Thank you for the
Rogan,
hospitality.
you're welcome. Always, always. And thank you for coming up and joining. Like I said, I wanted you to join earlier, but I guess it happened when it was supposed to. I'm not mad at that.
I'll be more aware next time.
All right. Do you have any closing statements?
I do not. Those of y'all on the replay, y'all got the best part of this. You feel me? Get you a pen and pad and learn something. Because Toya is tutoring.
That's right.
Holla, y'all.
All right. Peace out, Rogish. So you guys know how I like to end the streams. And I always like to leave you guys with peace, ease, and whatever you please. But I will implore you also to go ahead and drink some water today if you have not done so yet, because that's important. We need to stay hydrated. We all need to stay hydrated. So let's do that, as well as going everywhere you need to go to get your peace, to get your ease, and whatever you please. Thank you so much for watching. Hit the like button on your way out, and shout out to the replay gang.